as long as the sun is rising behind me and it looks very picturesque out there, one might say poetic, I thought I would tell this story that happened in Council Bluffs years ago. The three characters in this story, one is this guy who acted and spoke like he played at the Horseshoe Council Bluffs a lot. This was the only time I ever saw him. He had a very short temper. One was this older guy who was just kind of at the table. And there was this guy who didn't speak much English. Basically, the only English he spoke was like poker terms. He came back from the bathroom once and said, "I'll post." Like, perfectly. He understood what posting was. He knew how to say it in English. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. So that was odd that his English was basically just poker terms. But these are the three guys. The guy who didn't speak English was in the 5 seat, straight across from the dealer. And the guy who had a short temper was in the 2. So the short temper is to the right, or for you guys, to the right of the guy who didn't speak English. So they're in a hand together. They get to the river. The guy who doesn't speak English bets. The other guy with the short temper is thinking about calling. Eventually, he calls. The guy who doesn't speak English turns his cards over face up with his left hand. So when he does this with his left hand, and then he looks to his right, because that's the guy with the short temper, the other guy in the hand, he doesn't see that when he flipped his cards over, one is perfectly covering the other. We can't see the card on the bottom. I mean, you can make a guess as to what it was, but we can't see it. So he flips them over and kind of turns his head to the right to see what the other guy is going to show. And he doesn't see this. The guy with the short temper just sits there for a while. He thinks the one we could see that is face up is the only card that matters. Like, the other card is a rag. He flips his cards over. And then the non-English speaking guy, knowing that he wins the hand, like, looks down again and then spreads them a little so you could see both, and the other card mattered a lot. I think the one that was face up was a 10, the one that was face down was also a 10. I think it was a full house, so he wins. The guy with the short temper instantly, he has a short temper, instantly gets mad and starts talking about how the non-English guy slow rolled him. Was not a slow roll in the least. It was unfortunate that he turned his cards over with his left, looked to his right, didn't see that one was totally covering the other. It was not a slow roll at all. But this guy is really mad. At one point he says, because the older guy now is trying to like calm him down a little bit, at one point the guy with the short temper says, "Look, I come here to play, I come here to win, okay? I want to play better than everybody else here, and I want to win, and I want to take your money." Which was a bold claim from someone. We were full, we were 9-handed. I would definitely say he was in the conversation for 8th best at the table. So he's making some strong claims for someone who was losing and playing some hands very poorly and very oddly. But the older guy is trying to calm him down, and he goes, "Well, he had a full house. You know, that's a very strong hand." And the guy with the temper goes, "I don't care how strong of a hand it was. He slow rolled me, and I'm mad about that. That's what's happening." So then the old guy, still trying to calm him down, this was the best thing he said. He goes, "Look, sometimes in poker," which was the absolute best way he could start this. I knew as soon as he said that this was going to be something great. He goes, "Look, sometimes in poker, people start out winning and they end up losing when the day is over. Sometimes they start out losing and they end up winning when the day is over. It's all very poetic." So the guy with the temper snaps. He goes, "He slow rolled me and I'm mad about it. Nothing poetic happened here." And sadly, I think I was the only one who appreciated how, without trying, the older guy just made it worse and worse and basically just kept needling the guy with the short temper. But that line that started out, "Look, sometimes in poker," I understood how great this argument was going to finish when he said that. And after he said it and said the poetic line, I was like trying as hard as I could not to laugh, because the guy who had already snapped was just going to snap worse. But that was a great day. So I think we could all agree, poker is poetic, whether we agree seriously or in jest, because of how great that comment from the older guy was.